Welcome back to a special edition of Bloomberg West, live from the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. Our editor-at-large, Cory Johnson, is here with me, and Cory actually spent some time ripping things apart.
Yeah, it's not enough to look at the gadgets. You got to see what's in the gadgets to know how good they are. And so what we did is we went to Best Buy. We got one of the brand new LG TVs, this 3D TV, and it was $1,200 at Best Buy, and pretty soon it was a pile of junk. But it got to give us a real view of how these TVs work, and with the components in them really tell a lot about how TVs are going to work in the future. Brand new LG 47-inch LED TV, 3D capable. Let's destroy this thing. Try that. So this is really interesting.
We can see that they've done some things that I would call exotic. The way they lay down all of the capacitors flat, and they have these very thin magnetics for power transformation. This is not what a normal power supply looks like.
Okay, so show me the motherboard.
This is the back side. There's not a lot going on back here.
Right.
These are primarily small supporting components.
How would this smart TV compare to, say, the Apple TV box?
Well, I'm glad you asked. We happen to have one on hand.
So here's the guts of the Apple TV.
You know, in fact, most of the chips that are in here are from the iPhone. They're common to it. The density of electronics, you can see that the scale of some of these components that are so small, you don't see many of those on this board. Even the smallest components tend to be larger than the ones used here. The whole scale is shrunk down.
All right, so here we've got the state-of-the-art 3D TV, and here we've got a state-of-the-art Apple TV add-on box. Right. What would a future Apple TV, what does this tell us about what a future Apple TV might do and might look like?
Well, I would suppose that what Apple's going to do is maintain their usual design rules and go for something very sleek, thinner than is currently available in the market. And one of the ways they'll make the envelope smaller on the TV is by using these kind of design rules, they would call it, using the smallest possible components and very dense design rules. And they can probably fit the entire, everything that's going on here in a few PCBs along the perimeter of the television.
The guys from iSuppli, they're fearless about ripping these things apart. But what's interesting is actually seeing the inside. When you talk about getting thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner, compressing all of those different parts, it seems impossible.
Well, and I know you read the Steve Jobs book, and I'm reading it still, and you could see it from the very beginning of Apple. There was a lot of talk about how they designed the circuitry on the very first Apple computer, the Apple II. So you can see that in the Apple TV box, and the way LG does a totally different thing, where the stuff's spaced out, it's big, and they're used the space available to them. You can imagine how Apple might innovate in a very different way with the TV in the future.
I can't wait to see what Apple does along with everybody else. Thanks for that, Cory.